Hi everybody, welcome to the fifth episode today of STRAAT Talks. Today we're going to call with Alice, my dear friend from Italy, from Rome. We have been away for 2 weeks. We weren't able to get in touch with one of the previous mentioned artists by Ben Slow. So I picked Alice today to continue the STRAAT Talks. Alice is a dear friend from Italy. I met her 6 years ago in Berlin. Yeah, let's wait for her for a second for her to join. And if you have any questions, just comment below. Let me know, or let Alice know what you wanna know, and I'm happy to answer your questions, or Alice will be happy to answer your questions at all. So let's wait for a second for Alice. Yes. Okay, there she is.
Hey, hi,
Ali,
how are you?
hi, buongiorno.
Buongiorno, how are you?
Where do you think I am?
Nice. Sunny day in Amsterdam too, I see.
Yes, it's for the first time in a long time. It's sunny in Amsterdam.
Cool.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm good. I think I need a pillow for my chair. I'm too small. No, it's nothing changing really, but okay.
Perfect. Ali, today we're live in the museum at STRAAT, as you can see, in front of your work. And I've been catching up with the artist over the last couple of weeks to see how everybody's doing, what they're doing right now, any projects in the future. And if people have questions, we can answer the questions to them.
Oh, hey.
But I was already introducing our relationship to the people. We met each other 6 years ago. It's next week. It's 6 years ago that we met each other for the first time.
Wow. Yeah, in Berlin, right?
Bruno. Yeah, in Berlin. Yes. You still remember?
Yeah, sure. I was painting such a big wall with such a small ladder, right?
Yeah. Is the wall still there?
It's still there, yeah, with a few tags on it, but still there. It's a great spot. I mean, just in front of the East Side Gallery, so very central and very historic wall.
Yeah, and we were there, of course, with Bruno. But and then we walked around for a week in Berlin.
Yeah.
We did a lot of stencils.
Yeah, it's amazing to paint in Berlin, actually. I miss this kind of travel.
Yeah, because how's the situation in Rome right now?
Well, from today it's quite better. So, you know, we have this light stop colors. So now we are in the orange zone, not anymore the red one. That means that I can go around without having a justification saying where I'm going. I just can go around. So, I mean, to me, nothing actually changed in the way I'm living every day. For the exception, I'm always traveling, as you know, from the last 15 years I've been traveling. So it's very strange to me to do this studio live. I'm very close to my studio. So from my home to the studio, I can go walk and nobody actually saying to me. Yes, life has changed for everybody. So, I mean, so I'm doing this life of studio work, painting in the studio, commission and things I never had the time to do. And I mean, it's time to explore maybe other field, right? So maybe to work on different things, and if you can't explore the world outside, then you go more inside, probably, like many artists.
Yeah, it's basically the same story as the other artist told me as well.
So for me it was very strange. At the beginning I was very blocked artistically speaking, because all my art, as you know, is talking with the people, is in relationship with the place. Most of the time, my creativity is coming from the wall itself, the shape, the color, the meeting, the people I meet, and the story I meet during my travel. So it was quite shocking at the beginning. Also, as you know, Italy has been one of the first places in Europe, so nobody knew what was going to happen, and we had no clue, what will go on, and it's been very, very, very strange. After 1 year, unfortunately, we are still here, and with this last summer, I had the opportunity to travel in Italy and to paint walls in Italy, because the situation was quite better. Thinking now maybe was not a good idea for the country, to move so much. So I don't really know what's going to happen next. But I don't know, for me it's been the opportunity to do other things. So I'm working, of course, on commission because I have to work, but also on a graphic novel project and other kind of things I never had the time to do. So can be interesting. Or anyway, we find opportunity for creativity in any situation, and also creativity is helping us to survive in this moment. So I think it's a good chance anyway.
Yeah, because since when are you in lockdown in Italy? Now the last one.
I'm getting confused now, because last year has been 4 months. Then the summer was okay. Then from I think December or the end of November until last week has been a sort of orange. In the Lazio area where I live, I mean in Rome actually, was okay until 3 weeks ago, and then we went back to the red zone. So what we were in the yellow, and yellow zone has mean all the shops are open, and I mean life is almost the same. But now again, I don't even know now what it's closed, was it open. It looks like it's less straight than the last year.
I also stopped looking at the news. It's just
I don't know, there's just so much chaos with the vaccine that it's better not to watch anyway. It's an Italian story, I think. European too, but quite Italian. And
so right, focused on working in the studio?
Yes, right now I'm at home in this moment, but yes, I'm working a lot in the studio and trying to fix this thing. And yes, I'm working on this graphic novel. I'm working on big canvas. That, as you know, I never paint on canvas because I always paint on recycled things I find during my travel. So it's even strange for me, this kind of, studio life, very classic. And but yes, still I'm going around the district to sketch on, on my sketchbook. Life to feel things are still normal sometimes.
Okay, so that's a new world for you, that you're painting on canvases right now.
Oh yes, very different. Yes, I feel like an old painter.
But you're not, eh? No, you're not.
I'm not, no. But I have a very young assistant now. She is 17, so to me is it's difficult, but I see for her is more difficult, because where I was 17, I was actually always in the street and living, the life in the city, and so I can see for them it's even more difficult.
I can imagine.
So, but are you? I mean, even me, that it's long time I'm not going to rave. I'm dreaming about, actually dreaming about party and rave in this moment of my life.
Yeah, it's a long time ago.
This is better now. Okay.
We can see you. So, but and what do you miss the most right now? Because as you already said, like, you travel a lot. I've known you for 6 years now. I know you travel a lot. What are you missing the most right now?
Yeah, at the beginning I was almost enjoying this life, because when you travel all the time can be a tough life, a beautiful life, but always with the bags and everything. And now I really miss to do my bag again and to to be around and on the road. And I really hope I can do it again soon.
Yeah.
But yes, also trying to go back to the roots. You know, when you work in your own district, on the street in your own district, and so.
Lucky Rome.
Yeah, I mean, as you know, I had this problem with the law, so I'm supposed to be on one side. I'm on the Italian encyclopedia, on the other side I'm a vandal, so I have to be careful. But in this time, people really don't think about graffiti. I hope that police have other problems. So.
Yeah, but is this still going on? That problem?
Yes, it's still in process. So actually, I can't even talk too much about that. But
no.
I hope they forgot about me. But let's see.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's what you miss is the most, travel around.
To
So
paint, to be around and just paint, you know, not even big walls, because big walls now are, as you know, for many of us artists are a job, you know. What I miss is the romanticism of the beginning, what you know that I like, just being in a studio with friends and being around and do small intervention.
Little stencils.
This is the more poetic part of my work, I feel.
Yeah.
And so when you are in a place working on on a big wall for days and days, yes, it's another kind of way to do art. You get in contact with the people living in front, and as I did the last big wall I did was just October, and I really get in touch with the people living in front of my wall. This is in Roman traffic. Let me close this window.
Oh.
And so as you see, life is back. And, but when you are traveling and painting in the small corner, and then you see how the small thing is evolving with the city, and sometimes it's staying so long, that's the more romantic part, I feel. And when people are keeping your work for so many years, even if the work is so small, that's really nice.
Yeah. No, I remembered when we walked in Berlin. We walked a lot. We walked a lot. We did a lot of small works.
Yeah.
Well, you did the small works.
Also, it's a different way to cross the city. You're not going to the center and the touristic place. You're really crossing a city by making your own map of the city. Yeah. So I remember each European, and not only European city, because I remember the place I've been painting and where I was, what I was doing. And when I go back, it's like to meet again an old friend, right? And discover that place is still there. Sometimes I got a tag on it, sometimes got plexiglass to save it, and but it's like your work is evolving with the city, even if you are not there anymore. Yeah. So I feel like it's not my work. It's something
an emotion
with the city itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something, the property of the city and the people passing by.
I met one of your old friends the other week here in Amsterdam.
Yeah?
Remember?
Yes. Yeah, it's a small one. I mean, it's so vulnerable. It could be, deleted at any moment.
Yeah, but it's still there.
Yeah, that's nice, when you see people appreciate, because when you do a big wall, actually people have to accept it, they like it or not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In that case, it's more. There is a door here in Rome that when I was painting it, people were passing by, the owner, people living inside were going back home and saying me, in this district, everybody is doing whatever they want. So in that moment, was my fault if people was getting drunk, I was taking drugs, doing best in the district, anything, And after like 7 years, that piece is still on that door. And they painted all around the tags, and they left this. So it was funny to me, because to do that painting, to finish it, I had to go back and forth like 2 times, because they were watching me from the window, very, very upset. So it's funny that at the end they kept it,
Is it the little girl with the suitcase?
Exactly, that one.
Yeah. What did they wrote something on it, right?
I think so. On the bags, yes. And no, they did a Nike symbol.
Oh, that's right.
But now the Nike symbol is gone, and there is some rusty on the wall. So it's funny because I chose that door because it was actually full of tags. So as a background, it was very messy and very interesting for me. So when I see that people are cleaning all around my work, it's very strange because it looks like a sticker. So, you know, it's something I will never do. Like
no. I know you're very picky with choosing your doors and your spots, you know.
Yeah. This one is nice because it's on a box letter, so yeah, you know, her own natural frame. And yes, I think the funny part is really to interact with architecture, but I'm sure most of the artists think the same. You know, the spot is really a big part of the work. Otherwise, you would paint on a canvas all the time. So that's the difference. Yeah.
Like this one. This is a big one that stays.
Oh, this is a very big one, actually.
Yeah. Because do you remember when you were here painting it?
Yes, and remember, I was very quick. Like I think it was done in 3, maximum 4 days.
Yeah,
because I am very quick when I'm painting. So actually, but I think this is a good one by emotional one, you know, because there is a lot of mystery behind her. We don't really know what she's doing, what she's thinking, but there is some emotional tension. So it's interesting.
Yeah, because this one is 9 by 5. When I met you, of course, the first time, you were also painting like freehand.
Yeah. I do freehand. Sorry, I lost you for a second.
Oh, yeah. No, I was saying like the first time I met you in Berlin, you were also painting freehand, but you also paint on stencils.
I mean, when I paint big mural that I have all the time I want, I go freehand. And as you know, I use no grill, no projector. It's all freehand actually, like that one. And but when I'm on the street and I really need to go fast, then the stencil is an interesting tool. But to me, a stencil is not a style. It's just a tool. You know what I mean? So I don't really want the final look to be a stencil. So my big stuff and my small stuff are very similar, I think, because when you take off the spray cans and you start with the marker, then you look less like a vandal. You know.
Yeah.
So that's give me the opportunity to take a little longer on the street when I'm doing my small intervention because the proportions are done. So I don't need the time, you know, to fix the proportion and to continue to do the retouch, you know, because I'm a woman and I always prefer to paint it with the daylight most of the time. You know, it's better for me if I go quick at the same time if I take off the spray, because when people see the spray cans, they always scare. It's like, you know, still.
So was that your decision to go for stencils? Because you're like a woman and painting alone in the streets, or?
Yeah. Because it's a quick tool. It's just a tool. Of course, a tool you can't use on big walls. So when I'm painting big walls, my way of painting, because to me it's very boring to do a grill or to use any projection. Because you can't paint everywhere when you're using a projection, you know what I mean? You can paint only when you have the opportunity to plug something.
Yeah.
And so my way to paint big is to draw on a transparent paper, plastic one. And
I know.
And I watch through that and taking proportion with reality. So I mean, I watch my face and I see how big in comparison with the window or the door on the tree next to the wall. And so I have to do a lot of back and forth. But that's tool that is my sketch on a transparent. It can be my stencil, because then I print that and I cut it out. So it's like, you know, it's the same tool. But behind the walls and behind the stencil, there is my sketchbook. So everything is coming from that, actually. And then it can be sometime you can find a place on a wall or on a little corner. But I feel like my small work are more democratic, you know what I mean? So I feel like is a bigger emotion for somebody passing by.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they can face is the,
Sure. Continue.
you're gone. Yeah, you're gone.
Yeah.
That's
No,
it.
of course of course I know your sketchbook. And I know for you it started in Madrid when you studied there.
Yeah. Yeah, I studied in Rome. I did the fine art in Rome.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've been studying in Madrid. I was working and studying there, studying animation,
Mm-hmm.
because I really think that the traditional animation is a way to really, really learn how to draw. Because yes, I did many years of classical studies in Italy with the model and everything, Fine Art Academy, an artistic high school and all that.
Yeah.
But when you study animation, you discover a way to draw anything from any perspective and any position. And
Right.
that's maybe been influencing me a lot in a way. If you see my draw, I'm not portraying a precise moment. I'm not portraying a moment where the people are posing, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm really portraying an in-between moment, like,
Yeah.
you know, the girl you have behind you is an in-between moment that I think these moments are really important in our life, even if we are not describing them, and maybe, we are not fixing on them like an illustrator would do.
Yeah.
But because in that moment that we realize what we want to do, that something is happening. So the tension before something is actually happening.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was interesting me more, I
So
think.
it's the real moment. It's like la pura vida.
Yes, it's an everyday moment, but it's in
Yeah.
small everyday moment. There is something that is the everything we're gonna happen. I don't know how to explain. Otherwise, I will not draw. I will write it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good. But and like if you look at your paintings, you most of the time you paint women.
Yeah,
And
but it was not a decision I took at the table. It was
mhm.
something. I know more about feminine feelings than masculine,
Of course.
feelings. And also it's a question that a lot of people does to me. But if
Mhm.
you think about all the history of painting, how many paintings been portraying women, all of them, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
of course. No.
But what we don't have yet is an history of women painting women.
Yeah.
Because we're counting the artists, Frida Kahlo, Artemisia Gentileschi, not so many at the end.
No. No.
And unfortunately, maybe a lot of them have been forgotten because they had no chance. They were not daughter of somebody, or wife of someone.
Mhm.
But if we think about the woman, the female art, we always think about small, delicate miniature. And maybe
Mhm.
that's why I started to paint bigger and bigger wall, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like to prove yourself you can do it. There is no difference.
Yeah.
What is said for us, and I mean about all the street artists, women street artists are more and more since I started. Really, before we were
It's
really a
growing a
few.
lot.
It's growing a
Yeah.
lot,
Yeah.
and very, very talented artists all
Mhm.
around. But I think that for us it's quite nasty when we finish all together in an exhibition, female art, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we never saw a male art exhibition, always,
No. 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 No.
considered like a part.
Mhm.
But things are changing. I feel a lot of people think that female are doing art for women.
Yeah.
But maybe there is a lot of history to write yet.
Yeah.
And there will be one point while we will be more universal, maybe. But there is a lot of street to do.
Yeah.
So for me, at the beginning, was, as I told you, was not a decision I took. It was just something spontaneous. At the same time, most of the graffiti artists at the time, because there were not street art at the moment,
Mhm.
was graffiti. And in the graffiti world, most of the women were represented very sexy, like superheroine of comics books.
Yeah.
And there was not a narrative about real feeling and real people. So when I started to paint on the street, by signing with my real name, that was really something strange in the graffiti world.
Yeah.
And I really wanted other people to see it was a woman to sign that walls.
Yeah,
And
that's
I
good.
really was, and I really was bringing something different in the way my line and my colors are, because my line were broken, while graffiti line are always very clean, and the color very fat, very, how you say, very flat.
Yeah, yeah.
While my colors are like mixed and the line are broken. So yeah, it was a very different kind of way to paint. And
Yeah.
now on the street there are many different styles and people are painting many different ways. Most of the people are not coming from the hip hop scene or the graffiti scene. It's all different. But at the beginning, on the walls, there were only a certain kind of way to use the spray cans. And so people were watching me very, very strange at the beginning, the way I was actually using that tool.
Yeah.
That was completely different.
I can imagine. So what motivated you to study fine arts in the beginning?
But my mom, she said that when I was 3 years old, I say her, I'm gonna be a painter.
Oh,
But
really?
in my brain, my brain of a kids, I really thought that being a painter was a work. Like you have the society of Playmobil. You had the policeman, you had the cooker, you had that, and you had the painter. So it was normal. When I was 14, then I understood that maybe, my parents started to say, yeah, but really, what do you want to do in the future, like something real?
Yeah.
Because in Italy at 14, we can decide which kind of high school we can do. And I really wanted to go to the artistic one. But from the artistic one, everybody were going out with, crazy hair and a lot of tattoo or piercing. So, they were very afraid. They wanted me, like any parents in Italy, they wanted me to go to study Latin and Greek. And
Oh, really?
Yeah, because the must in Italy, you study at the classic high school where you study these things.
Of course.
But then they saw me so decided to go that they said, okay, just do whatever. And so that's how I started. But then when I finished my study at the high school, I realized that it was very difficult, to maybe be an artist in Italy where, the consideration for artists is so high. So,
high standards.
Angelo what? Leonardo what?
Yeah.
And so I've been lucky enough that my group of friends were a lot into hip hop culture, because hip hop culture really saved my teenagerhood, because we were spending a lot of time by creating a lot of things, from the dance to the music to the graffiti, and all these have been influencing me a lot, because hip hop culture said, you don't need to go to the best school to study art or music when you can just invent your own style. And the more you are unique, the more you do a crazy move while dancing, and the way you're more different of the other, the more it's cool. And and that's been a big school for me, maybe bigger than fine art school later. And so from there, everything started. And so in the morning, I was studying the classical way of doing art. And in the evening, I was experimenting other things. And all these things have been mixing what I am today, I think.
Okay. So I think that's a question, right? The Angio Insta? It's in Italian, so...
About the festival, we have no idea, because now... where we do the festival, I'm organizing this festival in Molise.
Yeah, because not everybody speaks Italian that is looking right now. So what was the question?
The question is if this year there will be this festival I'm organizing every year. And I'm organizing this festival in the one or more forgotten region of Italy, in a very small village that is a medieval village, a beautiful village that happened 6 years ago.
Yeah, I
Now,
remember.
a very nice story that a girl living there, she brought me and she said me, I would like you to come here and paint. And without knowing, my grandfather was from this little town.
Yeah, I remember.
So it was very shocking for me because there are so many little towns in Italy. And so since that moment, because this town is, there are only 100 people living there now, and most of them are old people. There are no school, only 5 or 6 kids, no economy. So we saw that through art, economy and hope can come back to this beautiful place. And unfortunately, this year we don't know. Last year we did this experiment. It was very interesting because of the COVID situation. What we did was to put in contact the habitant of Civita together with the artist through Zoom. So you will see this old lady chatting with Nespun, the artist, about laces and how to do laces, and she taught them how to build her installation with the laces, and they did it for the artists, and so all the artists.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was an experiment that ended up being very, very interesting.
Yeah.
And so a whole community through Zoom with the artists, they invented, they created, they built it together an idea, and they gave life to an artwork by working in distance. It was very interesting.
Oh, that's great to hear. So Fabrizio apparently traveled 500 kilometers just to go to Civita.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a very, very, very cool place, and out of the time.
I would love to go there one day.
Yeah, you have to come.
Yeah.
When artists arrive there, 2 minutes, because there is no line with the phone. So for our press office, it's like crazy to do, communication there.
Yeah.
But after 5 minutes, they get into the community and they really live the community life. So it's not another street art festival. This is an experience. And there's a lot of people who came to Civita. They usually come back and back because they get in touch with this real life that is so far away, in our ancestral memory. And it's an amazing spot with an amazing community.
And it's in the south of Italy, right? Or
it's the center south of Italy. Yeah. And there is a joke about this region that say that Molise doesn't exist. So one of the first work we did is the Bianco shock intervention. Was Molise doesn't exist and then resist. And that became a slogan of our region. Because, there are no roads. It's like the time is completely stopped there. Imagine this medieval village on a mountain all around the valley, and all these old grandpa and mama who will welcome you. The doors are always open. So the first edition, we had no restaurant, no hotel, nothing there. So what we did is just open all the houses. And, the grandma will cook for you and welcome you. And Alex came, yes. Alex lived the experience with the community.
Yeah.
And
so who painted there? I remember Martin Watson painted there.
Yeah, now are many years. Alex, Martin Watson, Ad Fuel, Milu, Jan Bormand in the installation, Bianco Shock, Pablo Herrero, David Delamano, and
yes.
a lot of artists now, and very, all good people, and that was very important for us. And the people really get in touch with the community and with the soul of the project.
Yeah. So, you looking back, it changed a lot to the village.
It changed because the few kids that are there are growing up with this hope. You know what I mean? So for them, the festival exists, and the festival brought a lot of people. Some of them bought houses, and that's medieval houses are all one next to the other. So if one
Yeah.
house falls, all of them will fall. So it's very important to save this patrimony of culture and architecture we have. There is a beautiful medieval castle, and what is changing now, we have an ice cream shop, a meat shop, a B&B. That sounds stupid, but it's very important for a small community.
No, it's
where
very
you have
important.
nothing. So one of the work we did this year was Bianco Shock, who recreated together with the people a bus stop in there.
Wow. Okay.
Because there was no bus stop. There was a bus passing by and always stopping in the same place, but without any bus stops. So it was funny because it's like, how you know where you have to stop? It's like somebody told the driver, and somebody told the people that was the point. And so things like that. And so in some case, art can really change the destiny of a community. And there are so many communities like Civita in Europe, but I think everywhere in the world, that are just forgotten because the young people leave to go to work somewhere else, and all this big patrimony we are just losing. So through the art, bringing back the tourists, we can change maybe the destiny. That was the challenge. So until now, I can say something is happening, but most of all, there is hope and proud, and the people are proud. Before they were ashamed, they come back from a small village, a forgotten region. You know what I mean? Now they are proud. They're coming from there. And that's whole thing.
Well, that's something very important to add to a community like, well, the one where your grandfather came from, right?
Yeah, and also, to me, after traveling all around the world and do walls everywhere, is to go back. It's like a circle. You know what I mean? And it's been very moving for my personal story, of course. But I feel also this kind of art is social, and at the same time is so important because it can be shared.
You see the response of Luna?
Oh, you see? Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, because I think it's a big problem in a lot of villages in Italy, right? That only the old people stay and...
Yes, but because there are no opportunities, no work, no school, so how you can stay, But knowing that through this kind of operation, all the years long, tourists arrive from all around the world. It's a very long trip going there. It's not so easy, There are not super road to go there, so you really have to pass through forest, and it's very suggestive, but not so easy. So knowing that people will come all years, that means that then a bar can open again. You know what I mean? Giving opportunity to work from 3-4 person, and so it can be really, really interesting. I think if there is something that we understood street art can do, is to work with the community and for the community. So some time for me, and of course Civita is one of my project close to my art, but what I'm trying to do all the time is to do social project, because it's my way to give back for one side, and on the other side to keep the romanticism of the beginning. So when I'm going to paint in a center who will come refugees of Minior, or if I go to paint to the jail, inside the jail, in a community place, that's my way to feel I'm doing something useful for the society. It's not because it's been the people to pushing me to go forward when I was just painting in the street like a crazy, and without doing only for myself at the beginning, of course.
Well, it's a big accomplishment to make this project happen. I remember you were talking about it the first time I met you in Berlin. I think that year was the first year, right?
2015. Was the year I was going back for the first time. After I went there and I found all these beautiful abandoned houses. Then some tourists went there, and from there the idea of doing something.
Yeah, so that's something that is maybe also going to happen this year, or maybe not.
We really don't know now, because now Monisa is in the red zone, so we don't know
No.
what's going to be.
Yeah. So other projects you're working on right now.
Yes,
Uh,
as I told you, this graphic novel is very close to my heart because it's talking about, I don't know if I can spoil this, but okay, I will tell you something. It's about women and maternity and all the things we can't say about that, you know,
mm,
and all the things the women don't want to say it because they can't. And the decision they take when they don't want to have kids, for example, or,
mm,
you know, the difficult time they're going through when they decide to have kids, and all this through a very light graphic novel that tell the story of many different women. So I'm
okay.
writing this with a journalist, a friend of mine. She's
Okay.
a very good journalist, and we are just collecting a lot of story. And let's see what's happening.
Wow, that sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
So
So
when is that coming?
I'm working on it, so we don't really
Okay.
know if after the summer we'll be ready. That should be, you know, a point, but we don't
Yeah.
really know. And also I'm painting big canvas, and so in that moment I'm doing some workshop, and
Okay.
I have the time to do things. I did the workshop with the Guggenheim Museum, that was cool. And so we
Nice.
did, yeah, in distance with a lot of students, like 90 students on Zoom. It was crazy,
Yeah.
but it was very good to me because at the end they realize project of
Mm,
intervention in the city so far from my style, from what I do. So for me, that was the goal, you know, because when you go to the artistic school, you always have a bad teacher who will
no.
try to teach you, well, you know, that the only way to do art is his own way to do art, you know, and it's very, very difficult to teach art because you
Yeah.
have your
So
point of
strict.
view. So yeah, you have your point of view. You can't
Yeah.
see it all. So for me, it was a big goal, and I say, oh, maybe I can do the teacher one day because these people are. I'm taking from these people their own style, you know,
Mm,
and that's I think is very interesting when you
yeah.
can find and understand the difference. That's the big one of the more important things we have, the difference, you know.
Yeah. So and going back like to the beginning, studying, who inspired you? Who is like an inspiration to you as an artist?
I will say that to me it was Swoon for sure as a woman and as an artist have been really an inspiration in a way. And still today, she's an artist, for example, who's working a lot in the social, and I
Yeah.
admire her way to be. And you can see she's very clear, you know what I mean? She's very transparent as a person and as an artist. Because most of the time, when you like somebody as an artist, and then you discover the person behind the
Yeah.
art, then you feel like, oh, no. So to me, it's I can't say it's very important, but I can feel when people are, you know, also good people, and you
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
see it through the art, and that's something that is more valuable than the artwork itself.
Yeah, I think that's
But
also something that we can say about you, or at least I can say about you. And know you as a person, you're always really focused on the social part of making your artwork.
But I mean, the community gave it so much to me that
Yeah.
I need to give back. Is you know what I mean? Being really the people to pushing me to go forward. And at the beginning, I was just thinking, the guy, it's just me. I'm crazy. I wanna paint everywhere, and that's you know, this is not important for no one. Then when
No.
the people you know make you understand that this is important for them and
Mm.
why, then you feel okay, I can do more.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so if this is my work now and I can call my passion my work, I have to give thanks to the community and to the people.
Yeah, yeah. If it's like I think in a lot of different fields, if it's Civita or for example me, like traveling around cities just looking for your artworks, I think you make a lot of people happy by making the small or the bigger pieces.
Yeah, I feel like people can understand that what is interesting for me is like to deep depths a moment, to represent a feeling, to give the opportunity to transform a wall in something more human. I feel like our city are so full of cynicism. Art is full of cynicism, and advertising is, so fake. So we really need the representation of something human.
Yeah.
And most of the email I receive, they are funny because there are maybe girls writing me, hey, you represented me. That's me on that wall. And you say, listen,
Nice.
no, that's a girl I just met, on the train, or just my cousin.
Yeah.
So I'm asking myself, why they see themselves in that? Because I'm not really a portraitist. If you watch all my girls, they are not, particular physiognomic sign. So I feel that people are seeing themselves in a feeling.
Yeah.
And this feeling is not always represented because it's not important, it's not a big moment of the life. But I really feel that the important moment of our life are the small moments. And if we put together all the small moments, there is the sense of one life.
Yeah.
And so I really feel
Swoon.
Swoon.
Yeah.
She's an artist from New York. She's worked a lot in Brooklyn, I think. Advertising is fake.
Okay.
Yeah, advertising, it's giving us an image, of something we can't feel represented in it. And we really need in our city another kind of communication, I feel.
Yeah.
And,
You're telling the real story. So, but you worked on a lot of projects. You did a lot of murals. Is there one that you can pick as your favorite?
I just, I published a big book in January last year, and so I got to watch through my wall archive, and it's crazy. It's more than 1,000 picture of works I did. And I don't even have all the picture of the beginning, because at the beginning we had a camera on the phone, and maybe we had not always the camera with us. And we are actually not even taking picture of most of the things, so things are changed anyway.
Yeah, since Instagram there are more pictures.
Yeah, but even before, first the social media I remember was Flickr. They actually still Fotolog. Fotolog was one picture a day, and that was already 2006. So before of that, we had no record of what we were doing on the street. Maybe someone had a camera, take a picture, and you put this photo on the diary, and that's it. So I can see that from the beginning I had very low resolution picture of my work until you have fantastic picture taken with a phone.
Yeah.
But yes, I remember more the experience. I mean, from the artistic point of view, I'm never really satisfied. Because, as an artist, it's important not to be satisfied, otherwise you will be done. And also, if you think about the artists did maybe 1, 2, 3 masterpieces in their life. Unless you're not really Leonardo da Vinci, who did 5 paintings and 5 masterpieces. And but from a personal point of view, I remember all the story behind that walls. So to me, that's the more important part of the work, because also on the book, I tried to tell a story about living the life traveling in the city, because most of the time the book of street art are just bio and picture and say nothing else. So I really wanted people to see the work and the history and the stories behind the creation of a wall. So the sketch and what was happening and why you did it, and some kind of reflection you had, because when you are painting on the street, you are interacting with people a lot. And this is most of the time more than critical art masterclass. So by talking with the old lady, you will have it will put you in front of some questions like why are you painting on a wall? You're not painting on a canvas. You know what I mean? And I suppose an artist who's painting on the street always have a reason to do it. So, otherwise you will be in your studio. Why to go around and paint a wall like a crazy if you have not a motivation?
Yeah,
And
you're sorry. Yeah.
and my motivation was to go over the academism at the beginning, moreover my teacher, study the thing that my teacher was saying to me in the art school, to get into contact with the society, to feel alive, to go over the wall itself. And this
Yeah.
is the more important sign, because there are many walls in the world and we need less.
So, and is the book still there? Is it still for sale?
Yeah, the book was last January. Then, unfortunately, there was the COVID, so I couldn't go around to present it. But
Yeah.
it's in bookshops, yes, and it can be found on the Drago web. Drago is the editor. The name is
Yeah.
Crossroad. So it's a big anthology.
So buy it. You have to buy it because I have a copy of the book and it's really worth to buy it. It's like an artwork itself, to read all the stories, to see all the pictures.
Yeah, I think there are many pictures. It was just a small selection comparison from what I did. When I look at all this, I say, wow, that's really crazy how much I painted.
So, and this was your last show, I guess, right? The one in Amsterdam last January.
Sorry, the exhibition.
That was your last,
Yeah, it was my last trip. No, I mean, after that, I went to London to paint inside the Heathrow airport. And then it was my last trip. But yes, I did this exhibition in Amsterdam. Was interesting because it was a kind of experiment.
Yeah.
So as you know, I draw and I write and I ship to myself the postcard from many places where I was for painting walls. And behind all these postcards, there is a sort of a history to myself, like I'm talking to myself. And incredible, but all of them arrived in Italy, and I was not believing because Italian post are not actually the best, but all of them arrived. And so it's been interesting. It's like, writing to your future self from the place. And of course, I was not portraying on the postcard the touristic place, but I was really portraying the dirty view on the city, like the forgotten corner. So it was a not touristic postcard project.
And to whom were you writing? Because you weren't writing to yourself, right?
No, I was writing to Laszlo Biro, who is the inventor of the Biro pen, actually. So all of them were drawn with the Biro pen. And Laszlo Biro at the address of Jessica, who was working with me. So she had to put Laszlo Biro on the.
Oh,
Biro.
really? Oh, I didn't know this.
So the postman was, what was this Laszlo Biro? But anyway, it was funny.
That's a nice touch to know, actually.
And so it was a correspondence with the real person, but it was dead from many years ago.
Oh, that's so funny.
It was funny, yeah. It was an interesting experiment.
Yeah. So, Ali, we're almost at 1 hour.
Wow, talking.
I mean, I know we can talk for hours, but at the end of every hour, I ask the artist to pick another artist that I'm going to call next week. And of course, I already
I'll suggest you Alex Senna if it's okay. He's a very good artist from Brazil and a very nice, lovely person and very funny. So we'll be a nice chat.
Well, he joined us for a bit during the hour, so I'm pretty sure he knows I will be calling him next. I just want to thank you for giving me the passion in the beginning. Yeah? I mean, I met you 6 years ago in Berlin, and after that, it really went in the like my passion really became real after I met you. After I was in Berlin with you, I went to Rome. I've met you many times in Amsterdam. In Dortmund as well.
Very happy. I'm very happy to see you there. And hopefully we will meet again soon in Amsterdam or somewhere else.
And otherwise, I come to Rome or I come to Civita.
Yes, you have to come to Civita, that's for sure.
Yeah, I know.
I will wait for you.
It's embarrassing I didn't go there yet.
Yes, actually.
Okay, Ali, grazie mille, zia.
Ciao.
I see you soon. I speak to you soon. And say hi to Burgo Boy.
Okay, I will. Ciao.
Okay.
Thank you to everybody
Ciao,
who
ciao.
was there. Bye.
Bye.
Ciao.
Bye.